let's talk about the seven trumpets that sounded. The seven trumpets that sounded. The first trumpet, hail and fire mingled with blood thrown down the earth. Like I was saying, a lot of the things dealing with the book of Revelations is talking about in sevens. Okay, we know hail and fire. Those things you do see. You've seen hail come down from the skies. Guess what else you've seen? You've seen fire as well. You've heard the stories of actually you've seen it, meteorites and things of that nature. Thank God they haven't been big enough, and at least during our generations or maybe the one before us, but they haven't been big enough to like, oh, let's put this in the history books. But you've seen meteorites and stuff. They just had one not too long ago in this, I think it was Texas somewhere. And you've seen those sort of things. You've seen a lot of activity with the sun, solar issues, and a whole lot of things that's going on. That's right there talking about when the seven trumpets are blown. The seven trumpets that's blown is a metaphor for certain things that's happening. But the thing that's ironic about the seven trumpets, a lot of those things are coming out from heaven. Think about it. Stars, the moon, hail, the water, animals dying, a whole bunch of things. But notice when you're dealing with the trumpets, the seven trumpets, these are things a lot of the times are coming from out of heaven. The second trumpet, symbols a great mountain burning with fire, falls from the sky to the lands in the ocean. That's another thing you can look at, sort of like meteorites. Meteorites fall, cause destruction, or they can cause issues when they interact with either land or water. You got the third trumpet, a great star named Wormwood falls from heaven and poisons a third of the rivers and things like that. Now you guys already know, you've seen this with these animals dying in the rivers, in the lakes, in the sea. Go to 2011, 2012 mass animal deaths, and then guess what else? If we were to drink some of the water and the things out there in those lakes without it being purified, we would die too. So when you see certain animals and all these kind of things that's happening where it's mass deaths, and when you hear and when you think about what was prophesied, always remember Jesus said the scriptures have to be fulfilled. And you hear about things like that, animals dying, all of that. If we were to go to lakes and you go get a cup and put it and grab some lake water, start drinking it, and see what's going to happen. I don't want you to do that, but I'm just letting you know a lot of the deaths that these animals were facing and were going through would be similar if we took that approach to getting our water and things of that nature. Luckily, we purified it, but just letting you see the overall of this, say the third trumpet, and these trumpets that's blown in heaven, but they're symbolic of things that come from heaven down to earth that can cause either death or cause issues with earth or show the power of the heavens that we just experience here on earth. The fourth trumpet, a third of the sun, a third of the moon, a third of the stars are darkened, creating complete darkness for a third day and night. So basically it's talking about issues with the sun, issues with the moon, and issues with stars. Now, you gotta look at it, and you gotta be people who not only just focus on your personal life and what you go through every day, but try to look at television, world news, and try to study some of these things. Try to look at the stars and find out what the moon's doing and all that the sun is doing. And that's basically what this fourth trumpet that's blown in heaven is. Just look at it like, say, an angel blew a trumpet, and from there, things that's coming from heaven is going to be affecting what's going on the earth. Just kind of look at the trumpets like that. So when we talk about the fourth trumpet, like I said, a third of the sun, third of the moon, third of stars are darkened. You've seen all of this stuff happening. You know the moon been going through its issues. Obviously, there's eclipse and all these other things. You know the sun has had issues and other issues with the solar system. But more specifically, um, you've seen stars, you've seen black holes coming out of the sun. I mean, it's just been a whole bunch of things that's been affecting the moon, the sun, and the stars. And that's just something else you just got to put in your mind and kind of do a little research and look and say, wow, then you'll realize, other scriptures and other prophecies being fulfilled. It's really as simple as that. You gotta open your eyes, and you gotta not just have tunnel vision about just your own life and what you're doing. Just kind of look and evaluate things and look around. And a lot of times you'll encounter a lot of the prophecies that we was told about in, like, say, the book of Revelations and other scriptures as well. Now, here's another one. The fifth trumpet. The fifth trumpet is blown. A star falls out the sky. Goes. Is given the key to the bottomless pit. The bottomless pit is the place that a lot of, say, fallen angels and unclean spirits went to. So you got to look at the bottomless pit like that. That's a place that housed a lot of stuff, fallen angels, and other spiritual things that's locked away to keep them from us. Even though we still interact, they have unclean spirits and things of that nature. But if it wasn't, quote unquote, for the bottomless pit, there would probably be no telling how many of them, and no telling how much turmoil we'll be going through if it wasn't, quote unquote, a bottomless pit. But this particular one talks about a star that falls from the sky, and the star is given the key to the bottomless pit. And then the star opens the bottomless pit, and smoke arises, and then and always remember too, a lot of things are metaphors. Now, smoke, something that a star went to the bottomless pit. So just look at it like something came down to earth and it opened up the bottomless pit. A bottomless pit was allowed to be opened. Smoke and other things came up out of this bottomless pit. Not all good that we're kind of dealing with. And it describes like a locust and some other things that came out of the bottomless pit, but some of that is metaphors for unclean spirits and other things that was released that we're kind of dealing with right now. You got to almost look at it like, how we have here earthly, we have like prisons. And the bottomless pit, in other words, is kind of like a place that, say, fallen angels, stars, moons, and other things might get punished and going. Oh yeah, stars and moons and things like that, they are punished as well. If you look at the book of Enoch, it kind of talks about, different things that are punished. But the point being, that was a place that say fallen angels and other unclean spirits went. And just like, say, on this earth, somebody goes to jail or goes to prison, when they do their time, at some point they get released and they get out. So look at that like that, in essence, the bottomless pit. You have something. Sometimes things happen to where somebody try to escape or maybe have escaped. Just like making the analogy of a prison here. You might have somebody that got 20 or 30 years, but you might have some people that got 20 or 30 years and they come up with a plan, or something happens and they happen to escape, to be caught again, to be placed back in there. So that's kind of like the idea behind it. It's almost like I said, something that came from heaven and it incorporated itself here. And then in it being here, it had an effect on what's going on here, even if it's something that we might not be able to understand or can't see. Like, for example, say a meteorite comes in, and like I said, they just recently had one land in Texas somewhere, and it was on videotape. It showed like the ground shaking or whatever. We don't understand that, but guess what? We don't know when that thing came through the atmosphere what kind of damage it could have caused, what kind of chemicals it could have released. So just think of when I'm talking about, say now I'm talking about the bottomless pit, and something happened to where maybe some things are released, and then you don't know how that's going to affect us here. So look at the trumpets. When the trumpets sound, as things that's coming from heaven that's going to have an effect on earth, but we don't know if it's pro or con. But based off just from what we just talking about, the trumpets that we've talked about so far, they seem to have some kind of negative impact for us here on earth. Just know that something generated from above came down here, and in it coming down here, it caused something negative or something that we might not understand, or cause a problem for us here on earth. Now we go to the sixth trumpet. And the sixth trumpet talk about four angels bound to the great river Euphrates. We talked a little bit about this before, to where basically, the Euphrates River is drying up. But this particular trumpet said it was four angels bound at the great river. So it's something, they're bound. That's something holding them back. And if you read further in Revelations, it talks about the four angels at the four corners are being released. So that's just something to think about. So basically, it's almost like as if you got four angels that's here, that's being held back. Nope, don't do what your job is yet. Whatever that particular job is, nope, not yet, not yet. The time is not right yet. So that's what that's letting you know with the sixth trumpet, that four angels bound to the great Euphrates River. But but there is an anticipation that they're going to be released one day, and whatever their mission is, that's what their mission is, and that's discussed some in the book of Revelations as well. Finally, as far as the trumpets are concerned, the seventh trumpet, and it says the temple of God opens in heaven, where the Ark of the Covenant can be seen. There are lightning, noises, thunderings, and things of that nature. So when the seventh trumpet opens, or when the seventh trumpet blows, the heavens open. You see, the first one, stars was going, all these different things, meteorites, and it's building up. Now I'm releasing angels to be bound at the Euphrates. And now when the seventh trumpet sounds, the heavens open up. Almost like anticipatory kind of situation that's going to occur, like something's big, because something's opening up. What is it that's going to come from heaven that's opening up? And then you got to start thinking about it. The revelation of Jesus, the testimony of Jesus Christ, the book of Revelations. Things are being revealed in this book. Okay, now in conjunction with the heaven and the earth, certain things are happening. When the seventh angel trumpet blows, the heavens opens up. Just something to think about.